Welcome to StockMarketFunding.com. What we're going to be showing people, our SMF Pro trading students this morning, is that back in 07 and 08, this is that index, Nasdaq 100. And what is the Nasdaq 100? It's 100 stocks that come out of that Nasdaq comp. That's what makes up the index. Furthermore, we went straight down and we hit a bottom. We were involved in that short there, and we've been involved in this long grind. And when we hit that bottom, there's a 2009 high, January reversal. We were short that period. There's the weekly doji. Now, that's when we called the market bottom. What I am going to do is I'm going to draw a trend line up here at the neckline. And I'm also going to draw a trend line right there where that part of the trend fell in 08 to this part of the low, which it did. What I want you to know is that during the 09 high, going into the end of the year, is that down here we were 94% on that DS. We were overbought. Sorry, we had to come down. Now here we're 85%, meaning that yes, there's still room to run. And basically, these are the key resistance levels, and we will put a top in. And at the time that we're putting this top in, I'm going to show you the history of what's behind that. This chart here, as you can see, Nasdaq 100 Volatility Index. Now, when we were going straight down in 08, this is a fear indicator that was going straight up. And basically in 07, we were down here at the bottom. When this is at very low levels, volatility is not high. People have no fear. People are totally have no fear about anything. And they're very complacent. And they're happy with where the market is. And the thing about it is, when this went straight up, that fear broke out. Boy, what a breakout that was, and what a breakdown that was. Now, when we put the highs in, when you take a look at the 09, first high of 09, when that went straight down right here, this went straight up, because it did in 2009. See, 2009. Now, yeah, we put the peak in at that first bottom. That's where that high was to that low, and then we bounced up, and bam, and that was part of this last move. That's that bottom there. What I'm trying to tell people is, our new trading students understand that this is going to put in a big bottom, and this is going to put in a big top. When that puts in the top, I'm going short. When this puts in the bottom, I'm going to buy call contracts right here. Flag. All right, back to what we're doing is that right now, when we went down right here, I called that market top. Go to StockMarketFunding.com. I also called that bottom. But how did I do it? We got down here at that low, and we went straight up there. We put a top in, and we started to reverse, and I knew right then that that bottom was a great trade. I also know that I made a fortune from here to there and a fortune from here to there. And I also know that this went straight up, and that went straight down, and this is at historical lows again, and we could put in a lower low somewhere down in here, and we could put in that high up here, up in this area, and there is another high of extreme, and that means that if we break up to this neckline of that 07 top at 21.21, that means that this would break down to where these lows were back over here. And I'll draw a trend line down here. Bam. We'd come all the way back down there. And I can tell you one thing, people, you make a lot of money. And the thing about it is, if we come up here, we got these, we know what we're right here at that trend line. We know that that's the next top. We know that that's the final top. So, top 1, top number 2, and top number 3. Resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3. Support 1, support 2 is down here on the lower end of this fear indicator. And that means that, as you can see the history here, between the fear, this is Nasdaq 100 Volatility Index, this is Nasdaq 100 Comp. And it's going to tell you that when I put this bottom in, I'm going to be shorting that top, just like I've said on this tape. And we're going to make a lot of money. And this is where we're at right here. And here's where we're at. I'll just do the opposite. Let's blow this part up where you can see it. And these are the lower end support levels down here. Let's make sure that you can see it all. Okay? And basically, when there is no fear, these are the kind of lows you get. And when everyone's real exuberant and the bull is running at full steam, this will put in the high, this will put in the low, and this, remember that when this goes higher, stocks sell off. So what I really want you to know is that when that goes higher, stocks do what? They go lower. Here it is. Let's go back and blow it up. There's that whole move. Here it is. Now, here it is. That went straight up. Stocks go straight down. What the public or investors need to know is how to apply risk management skills. And that's the way it is. And we're going to put a blow-off bottom here and a blow-off top there, and we're going to make a lot of money. Follow us at stockmarketfunding.com. You've been given a gift. SMF Pro Trading students, you know exactly what we're doing here. A number of you have been trained on it for over the last year, and some that are new in the group are just learning it new. So once again, we are going to show you how to trade indexes.